Good evening, councillors, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Carolyn Thompson. My family have been ratepayers on the corner of Victoria Street and Curzon Street, which directly abuts the property, for over 30 years. I'm speaking on behalf of Margaret. I submit that the applicant has failed to disclose the existence of the limitations on the use of the land that make his application void. The application of the 1871 Act for the abolition of state aid to religion requires the head of the denomination to state the powers which it is proposed to vest in trustees, such as powers to sell, exchange, mortgage or lease. In 1888, the head of the West Melbourne Baptist denomination sought from the Governor of Victoria leave to apply to dispose of the land. In doing so, he stated the powers to be vested in trustees in Trust Deed 5510. Trust Deed 5510 was lodged with the Lands Department and recorded as part of the Statement of Trusts. This document can be obtained from the Titles Office. Trust Deed 5510 stipulates that all buildings on the land must be used, occupied and enjoyed as a place for the public worship of God. This trust deed also outlines how the church congregation is to appoint new trustees. In short, a special church meeting is to be convened for the church members to vote and appoint new trustees. In 1916, 5 new trustees were appointed. In 1930, the Baptist Incorporation Act of Victoria was enacted by the Victorian Parliament under the assumption that Baptists had purchased all their lands, unlike other denominations who'd been granted land. Section 10 of the Baptist Incorporation Act of Victoria 1930 states that specific provisions of previous trust deeds remain applicable, so limitation that all buildings on the land be used for a place of worship remains applicable. On August 1951, a special meeting was held to appoint Mr Jack Hamilton and Mr Gordon Alfred Chapman as trustees of the church property, as 4 of the previous trustees had died. Both Mr Hamilton and Mr Chapman were alive in 1961 when the Baptist Union of Victoria applied for the title to the land, so they weren't dead. To become the registered proprietor of the land, the BUV did not disclose the appointment of Mr Hamilton and Mr Chapman to the Lands Department, but stated instead that all trustees were deceased. I submit that the applicant has failed to disclose the existence of the limitations on the use of the land in the Statement of Trusts, that's Deed 5510. This lack of disclosure renders the planning permit application void. I therefore seek that the committee defers its decision until the applicant provides proof that the limitation stated in the deed is no longer applicable.